All right, what's going on, guys? It is another great day, and like always, these shirts are available on the website. I don't say that enough, but they're pretty cool. They're a 2J head gasket, and they say Cooper in them right there. Most people don't even realize that till they get them. But I wanted to start this video off with updating this car and this car, because my plan is to take this one to the track tonight. This one's plan is to sit here and think about what it's done. So, new parts are ordered for the 240. I'll explain what happened. I pulled the trans back out. You guys didn't see that yet, but, you know, spent about 30-ish minutes of my time to get the trans back out. Made a huge mess because now it has trans fluid in it. Lost about a quart of trans fluid, but, you know, you'll have that sometimes. Took out the slave, and the slave was leaking from the seal, like on the back side. It was just pouring fluid. I mean, you could still see some fluid there, but yeah, like you would push the, like trying to bleed it. I just saw that it was leaking like right by the clutch area, right behind the bell housing, and it was just leaking right out back here. So fluid was going up the shaft and then just coming right down onto the floor. So I think that the seal is bad in this. I don't know if it was overextended at one point, but it shouldn't have been. I went through all of the measurements with Monster. We had a shim in there, so it should have been right. I believe this was the right shim. We double checked, triple checked, you know, was really making sure that it was the right one. So I ordered a new one from Monster. We're gonna send this one back. They'll probably tell me either what was wrong or they'll just warranty it out. And then put it back in, put the trans back in, and then the car should be 100% ready to drive, ready to go get tuned. Obviously the exhaust, but that's not gonna hold it up from driving. That's just gonna hold it up from actually sounding good. But that's where we're at, waiting on a new slave. And then I decided I would just, you know, upgrade all of it. A lot of people commented saying that the stock Master will not work, and I understand that. I just figured, you know, maybe it would. I have a pretty lightweight clutch. A lot of people were saying it wouldn't, but you never know. This thing was like a brand new OEM one, so I was like, all right, maybe it's got some power in it. But, you know, after talking to some people and just, you know, going with my better judgment that this one wouldn't work, I decided to order a new one. So a new Master should be here this week. New slave and new Master, that should eliminate any potential issue there. The Master shouldn't have been the problem that it was leaking, because if this one truly wasn't strong enough to move the slave and push the fingers of the clutch in, then it should not have even possibly been able to overextend it, at least as far as I can tell from my limited knowledge of hydraulic systems. Maybe there was too much throw in the pedal, but like I said, I mean, if it doesn't have enough power to move the fingers of a clutch, then it probably shouldn't have been able to overextend it. So maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. Maybe there's something I'm missing here, but regardless, put a new one in, put a new one of them guys in, slap the trans back in, we should be rolling. It is Thursday night, unfortunately, and I haven't gotten confirmation on any of these two parts yet, so shipping, I don't think I'll have it by this weekend, unfortunately. But, you know, that's the life of waiting for parts. If anybody does auto glass in Bradenton area and can do front windshield, rear windshield, and side glass, I have the crank up windows, but I'd like to get the rest of the glass in here, reach out to me. I'd love to get a quote on some glass. I'd rather do glass than Lexan, because glass is just such a nice look. It doesn't like warp like Lexan does, or have any kind of weird stuff like that. Glass is just nice looking. So want some glass for this thing, and then we should be ready to go. Camaro just got a fresh oil change, changed the filter, cut the filter open. It looked great, so put it back on the ground, and I am waiting on some fresh front brakes for that, but I'm gonna run it like it is for now. Try out some different things with the bump box tonight. Hopefully get this thing decently dialed in bump box wise. And then we'll get the new lower control arms on, new front brakes and stuff, so we can, you know, be a little lighter. We should probably be able to take like 60 pounds-ish off with the rear and the front. So that'll be really cool too, because 60 pounds is hard to get off these cars. I guess it's not hard to take weight off, it's just expensive to take weight off. Two different things there. It's easy, but expensive. So I'm gonna get this thing prepped for tonight, get it loaded up on the trailer, and we should be good to race. I am excited to get back behind the wheel. All right, time to load this thing up. Almost forgot to turn it on and got in, like I do probably 15 times a day when I'm racing it. To get up onto that trailer now. Bowser slept under the trailer all day and then proceeded to stand in front of the car when I was trying to drive it onto the trailer before, so that was fun. I had to deal with a 115-pound machine in my way, but it's kind of the enjoyment of having a tortoise. You never know what they're gonna do. Fuel pump stuff. Oh, it's a race. He's trying to block my path. Get out of here, Bowser. Alright, loaded up, on our way to the track. Same day, fresh shirt, fresh underwear, fresh socks. It's humid out. Bronte's gonna be filming tonight on the camera like always. Gonna set my bump box back to the original bump settings and go back through the directions and revert back through the whole process to set it. Try that, see what it does. It should work when I go for their, you know, some of their factory settings. Got myself a burrito here. That's just cooling off. Nice microwave burrito dinner. I think tonight I'm just gonna try to make some 8th mile hits. I mean, you know how that always goes, but I just don't feel the need to test the car through the corner because we know what it does on the top half of the track. I just wanna get the first half of the track, the short track, figured out and not getting the car really hot through the traps through the big end is really good for conserving the car, for, you know, being able to turn it over a little quicker, use less nitrous, doesn't get as hot, stuff like that. So that's the plan. I'm gonna try to make 8th mile hits. I usually get a little excited, but yeah, that's the goal. What do you think, Bronte?
That's what I was just thinking. I was like, I feel like I'm just imagining you coming back and being like, I could not floor it all the way.
Yeah, even if I can lift a little bit earlier, I really just want to test the bump box, the 60 foot, make sure it doesn't wheelie again, that kind of thing. I don't need to run it out the back. I know what 170 miles an hour feels like. I don't need to do that.
We'll see, maybe your mind will change once you're in the car.
Yeah, it is hard to get out of the loud pedal. So I am just going through the trans brake bump box settings here. I got my little cheat sheet that I keep in the car with me. I've actually had this in the car with me since I installed it.
Yeah.
This whole time, and it kind of gives you like a couple of directions to step through and try. So I'm gonna go up there and try the first setting. I had it on like a completely different setting, like my own, like kind of like tweaked it to my own, which clearly didn't work.
Alright, testing out the bump box. but it did jump really big, right?
Yeah, exactly. So like, the way that it works right now is I click it one time and it gets in. I want it to be able to where I have to click it a bunch of times. Like,
why?
Because then you can control it. Because then if you end up in a situation where I'm too far into the first hole, like I deep stage, I won't have one. Yeah, so it's still a lot harder than I'd want it to be. I want to be able to click it like 4 or 5 times, maybe more, to get it in. Because if I like deep stage and it's a one aggressive bump, then it's gonna push me through and red light like what happened in Georgia. So I'm trying to figure out how to get it to like smoothly go in by just clicking.
Where like
yeah, like
kinda?
very, very tiny.
Yeah, it freaking jumps in.
I know, it's so aggressive.
Yeah.
No matter, it seems like no matter what settings I put on it.
Yeah.
But that 330, where I lifted, was a 3.4 at, I don't have the mile an hour on the 330, but it was a 3.4, and like a 790 pass is a 3.3, so we're pretty good on there. Plus it was a really bad 60 foot. It was a 126 because I lifted.
Like, yeah, I heard that.
It felt like the nose was coming up, but I think I just lifted out of
nervousness.
I wouldn't say nervousness. Well, just leaving the track. Not a bad $10, honestly. I enjoyed it. Go out there, spend 10 bucks, make a few passes, 2. Not decent, not great ones. My first one, the 330, was good. That second one, I think the rear steer is an issue. It tried to go towards the wall right off the hit. I don't think I was lined up crooked or anything. I think it was just that rear fender, like I was talking about a couple episodes ago. The rear end is a little shifted. It's not any worn out bushings or anything like that. I don't know if it's bending the rear, like if it's trying to pull the lower torque boxes out, whatever you call those. I'm pretty sure they're called torque boxes on F-bodies. I know on Mustangs they are. I think that was our issue on that second pass. So I'm gonna have to get it realigned once I do the new lower control arms next week, new front brakes, you know, a bunch of stuff that we're gonna have to realign the car, and then we should be able to figure out what possibly is bent or moved from last alignment. So that'll be a good thing to know and figure out. And then I also just had a major breakthrough with the owner of Smooth Stage. We've been talking back and forth, and we realized that I have a relay in line with my trans brake, and he says you don't need one with the Smooth Stage, which I didn't realize. I guess in the wiring diagram that he had, it didn't have a relay, but I just, in my mind, was thinking it needs a relay, so it has one in it. So I'm gonna take that out, try it out, see if that fixes it. I should be able to just try it in the driveway, and that should give us our answer if it's the relay issue. If not, we're gonna have to figure something out. Hopefully with the new brakes and pulling out that relay we can fix it, but that is that's the process, guys. Unfortunately, my biggest enemy is myself. Not bad.
It was good.
Not a bad date night.
Oh yeah, that's our date night.
$10. I'll take that any day of the week. Car's not broken, so that's always good too. All right, it's the next morning. I'm in my driveway, and I just changed up some of the wiring. I quickly routed the trans brake and bump box to not use the relay anymore, and I think that should fix my problem. I think the relay was my issue this whole time, so gonna try that, get the car ready to get on the trans brake, see how it acts. It should work now, hopefully. All right, I'm gonna warm up the car, set it back to the original settings, and see if that's enough to get it to move. If not, we'll go back to the other settings. We'll keep trying through the directions now that we're in a good spot. So it's about there. Let's give it a try. Let's get the car warmed up here. Well, it's kind of starting to do stuff there. It's a little rowdy.
What? What do you mean you think you broke something?
I think I broke something. It like free revved really high. I may have broke something in the trans. Doesn't smell great.
It's smoking a little up here.
Could have broken something in the motor or the trans. I knew. I called it. I was like, if I sit here and test this, I'm gonna break it. After potential just broke it, let's try to start it.
Oh, it revved high.
What?
It revved high.
Yeah, something's broken.
Why?
It won't move, and it's revving all high, and it's like rattling.
It's not going into gear?
No.
But you weren't, isn't it the shifter that you touch?
Yeah, I moved it into gear. I think.
And it won't go backwards or forward? You just tried backwards and
I
forward?
just tried backwards. But it's rattling a lot. I may have broken the trans. Oof. Dang old neighbor out there revving his 2JZ Camaro ended up breaking her.
Ow! My feet are hot. And this thing is hot. Hold on. It's hurting my hand.
Can't stop now, we're going up a hill.
Oh. It's so hot up here.
I know. Hot over here too. Well, take your guesses. What do you guys think I broke? I feel like I broke like the drum in the trans, if I were to guess.
I'm still catching my breath.
Me too.
That was hard.
That was like a 500-foot push. No, not even.
Ay. Alrighty, well, it's okay. Well, it's not okay, but...
Hey, Camaro, you saw the 240's transit to come out?
She
Guess
wanted
what?
to join the party.
Man, you were just jealous, weren't you?
Yeah. Oh, man.
Well, guys, just as I thought I had it working, it broke.
Well, let's...
Welcome to the Cooper Gets Beat by His Own Cars YouTube channel.
This stuff happens.
Oh, they know it happens. They're watching it firsthand.
You don't break everything. Like, what? You're
I
making it
break
seem
everything I touch.
No, you don't.
In like not exciting ways. Like if it had broken on the drag strip last night, I'd be like, all right, you know, cool. But it broke in the freaking driveway.
Are you sure that's broken?
Yes. I really think my issue was it wasn't fully in first gear. And it's ironic because Doug at Motion Raceworks just did a Tech Tip Tuesday on breaking your transmission because your gear shifter wasn't aligned correctly. But it was working. It was working on the drag strip. But
It was working how you wanted it to, though, so then you were testing the bump box, right?
And now I'm sweating and I still have to unpack all the racing gear. What a day, guys. You guys got to come for the whole shebang. But I don't even know what to say. I'm still excited because I was racing last night, but I'll be racing for a little bit now. The brakes aren't as big of an issue getting here this week as they were a couple days ago.
Yeah.
All right, well, I'm gonna pull this transmission out. Maybe a Turbo 400 can go in its place. That'd be cool. But that'll do it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Keep it saucy. I will see you next time. I don't even know what to say.